Give us a sense, near term at least, what kind of impact do you expect this visit by Janet Yellen to have? And does this visit, does it potentially move us closer to de-risking or decoupling?
Well, Frank, I'd say that for China, de-risking and decoupling are the same thing, and de-risking just sounds a little bit better. They don't think there's any difference whatsoever. I think near term, this meeting has to be viewed as a positive. Think about the kind of real freeze that there has been with not having senior officials in China, essentially since the beginning of COVID. China was shut down. Now, in a series of a couple weeks, we had Secretary of State Blinken. Now we have Treasury Secretary Yellen there. So near term, this is a way of building confidence between these two governments to maintain those high-level negotiations. Now, on the side, we are absolutely moving forward with some of the tech restrictions that started under the Trump administration, continued under the Biden administrations. That's what investors have really cared about with this relationship, because those come with a lot of uncertainty.
So Ed, right now we're actually looking at Janet Yellen arriving in Beijing. We're showing some tape right now. She's getting off the plane, shaking hands with a lot of officials. So you mentioned the Trump administration tariffs. Yellen's visit to China, actually just about 5 years to the day since the Trump administration imposed those tariffs. President Biden's kept them in place despite Janet Yellen's pushback. How big of a topic is this for this conversation that she's having with these different officials?
So I'm sure they're going to bring it up. I'm sure they're going to bring up the Commerce Department restrictions on semiconductors, on kind of the blacklist that exists. But that doesn't mean any of those are going away. What I really see that what we're going to see here is a desire just to have conversation, because in November, General Secretary Xi is supposed to come to the United States as part of the APEC summit. So they want to have some high-level conversations before President Biden and President Xi are in the same country.
All right. So I want to ask you about something else. In recent weeks, we've seen a lot of different CEOs visiting China. Yellen's just the latest senior White House official. But those CEOs have a lot of big names. We're talking Apple's Tim Cook. We're talking Citi's Jane Fraser, Elon Musk. We talked a lot about that. Why are so many people visiting China? Why isn't China making the same effort to visit the U.S.? And what does this all mean to have a cabinet-level official go there to try to figure out how to de-risk, decouple, however you want to describe it?
Yeah, so it's just restarting some of these negotiations, restarting some of this relationship. China is the world's second largest economy. So it makes sense to have the Treasury Secretary from the world's largest economy going to the world's second largest economy. It's such a large market. Ultimately, I do think a lot of these tech restrictions are absolutely staying in place. But what you see from a lot of U.S. businesses is they're hoping it's going to be as limited as possible. The National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, talks about this as a small lawn with a really high fence. They want to make sure that anything that's not inside that lawn, that China remains an open market for U.S. businesses, as well as every other kind of market in the world.